Well, DD India correspondent Vikas Sarthi joins us for more details. Vikas, can you provide more details on the 3 revised criminal laws which will be tabled in the upper house?
Right, Siddharth. We expect that any moment now Home Minister will start a discussion on these 3 bills in the upper house in the Rajya Sabha. Yesterday we saw Lok Sabha passed this bill after a long discussion on each and every part of these bills. And as we are aware that the whole theme of criminal justice system is being changed or is being improved. You can say that we are going away from the colonial mindset. And in fact, Home Minister underlined that if you go through the provisions of the previous laws, whether IPC or CRPC, these legislations were made keeping in mind to fulfill the agenda of the colonial powers. That is why this sedition charge was given so much prominence, which has been dropped by the government in this present bill. And apart from it, several other things have been improved or included, like earlier terrorism, organized crime, mob lynching, and similar crimes were not included in our main criminal code. Now these serious offenses, these serious crimes have been included in our main criminal code. Apart from it, several changes have been made to the CRPC, criminal procedure, where it has been provided that most of the proceedings can be done through video conferencing. And apart from it, a timeline has also been fixed, Siddharth, for trial courts to expedite the hearing of the cases. In fact, it provides that once the arguments are closed, when all the parties submit their response on the petitions, the trial court must give a judgment or order within 30 days. So it provides a timeline, and it will certainly ensure that people get justice in time. And apart from it, it will also reduce the burden of pending cases in courts across the country.
Okay, and Vikas, can you highlight the specific aspects of the Indian Penal Code, Code of Criminal Procedure and Indian Evidence Act, that these bills aim to replace?
All right, Siddharth. So in this particular Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, the government has included crimes related to terrorism, crimes related to organized crime, and apart from it, cases related to the financial frauds. Earlier, if you go through the Indian Penal Code, which was almost more than a century, decades old, and it's almost a century old law. And in that criminal code, these crimes were not included, and these issues were dealt through similar acts which were passed by the parliament, like UAPA was introduced to deal with the cases of terrorism, and you have PMLA to check the financial frauds. But now, in your main criminal code, these crimes have been included. Apart from it, we have seen some major changes as well, like Supreme Court declared that homosexuality is not a crime and struck down the section 377 of IPC. Similarly, we saw that adultery was decriminalized by the Supreme Court. So these 2 issues addressed in this Sanhita as well, and government was of the view that Supreme Court has given a progressive definition to such criminal laws. And in fact, even objection of some of the member of parliaments that again 377 must be reintroduced and adultery must be declared crime again. The government was of the view that Supreme Court ruling are very progressive, and these sections have been dropped in our Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. As far as the CRPC is concerned, as I just mentioned, that earlier there was no timeline for courts to pronounce the verdict. For the first time, it has been mandatory for trial courts that it should pronounce verdict within 30 days after the arguments are completed by the parties. As far as the Evidence Act is concerned, now the electronic evidence will also be admissible in the court. So what will happen that a petitioner or a respondent can provide his documents, his affidavits, wakalatnama, etc. in digital format, in pen drive, in USB drive. So it has been provided that all these things will be admissible in a court of law. Earlier, that was not the provision.
All right. Thanks for your analysis, Vikas.